Welcome back to the Chasedown. Today we're going to talk some NBA after watching Game 4 of both the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. Just to talk a little bit about those series. The Heat are up 3-1 against the Boston Celtics. Celtics got it close there at the end. Kind of had a rough start to the first half. Jason Tatum did not have a good first half. He was like 0 for 6 or 0 for 8, one of those. And then he came out, balled out in the second half, ended up with 28 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. But in the end, it wasn't enough. You got to have him show up in that first half. Jaylen Brown had 21 and Kemba Walker had 20. But for the Heat, Tyler Hero, 37 points. The rookie showing up in the Eastern Conference Finals. The dude just has that swagger to him. He doesn't care, has all that confidence in the world. Just that type of player. I mean, if you know his backstory, went to high school in Wisconsin, and he committed to Wisconsin, was going to go there for college basketball, and then decommitted, and then said he was going to go to Kentucky, and then got all kinds of hate and trash talk at every single high school game pretty much. And he didn't care. Just that confident dude, has that type of confidence with him. He doesn't care. He knows he can play basketball. He just wants to go out there and play, and be one of the better players on the court. He's shown that all year pretty much. He's had an awesome year. Great for a rookie, and then shown out in the playoffs. He came to play. He has the confidence of his team too behind him. Jimmy Butler and Bam and all those guys. Want him to go out there and ball out with them. And the Heat had just been awesome. That team they put together, went from either not making the playoffs or being a low seed in the Eastern Conference. Ever since LeBron left, and even then after D Wade left, just had those teams of. Hey, they're all right, but nobody could get them over that hump. And then now the team they've put together, they added Tyler Hero in the draft, and they've added Kendrick Nunn, and then get Jimmy Butler in free agency, and they still have Goran Dragic, who we've seen be an all-star before, coming off the bench, and probably should have been in a lot more six-man of the year conversations. Probably wasn't in enough of them. Kendrick Nunn hasn't been there in the playoffs for him, and Dragic has stepped up and played like the all-star we know he can be, because we've seen him have an all-star year before, and that's what he's been doing. Dragic had 22 points this game. Jimmy Butler had 24, Bam had 20, and then Tyler Hero 37. So those guys that they have to score, the guys that are supposed to show up, they were there to play. And the Heat even went and got out trade deadline. They even went and got some more guys to play defense. Just that fit that Heat culture, and Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala. Those type of guys who can guard Giannis and just have lots of wings out there so they can switch and guard the best player out there. And then we've seen Duncan Robinson take a jump out of Michigan. We've seen him take the jump and take a leap and be just a lethal sniper, running around, coming off screens, and just putting up shots, that J.J. Redick type of player. Just that culture, and that slowly we've seen the Heat put together this team that really meshes well together. And then a Hall of Fame level coach and Eric Spoelstra out there to help run the defense and run the offense, and we've seen that another jump in Bam Adebayo, who we knew already was probably going to be good because we've seen flashes of it. He took that leap that year. He's been consistent this year, and just another player that the Heat have added. And he only got to win one more game. Got to go out there and they can make it back to the conference finals for the first time since LeBron left and went back to the Cavs. see Jimmy Butler go to a conference a fine NBA finals. The Celtics got to come to play. The Celtics they tried to switch it up a little bit. They didn't bring Enes Kanter out there. Robert Williams was that first center off the bench for the Celtics. We didn't see Enes Kanter, and even Robert Williams only got 12 minutes. Daniel Theis had 30. And we've seen the Celtics play some small ball before, and Gordon Hayward came out. He had played 30 minutes, 14 points. And the big thing for the Celtics was turnovers. They had 19 turnovers, and the Heat only had 8. So just taking care of the ball, especially there in that fourth quarter, just a lot of turnover the ball. Even though Jason Tatum was kind of rocking in that fourth quarter, they just couldn't really take care of the ball. And the Celtics tried to bring it back there at the end because the Heat had a pretty big lead. They had like a 9-point lead, and then the Celtics tried to fight. They fought hard there at the end, but Heat held on. And again, those 19 turnovers, those are killer. He got to the line a couple more times, 24 for 27, and the Celtics were 17 for 21. So knocking down a couple more free throws is big there. Free throws are huge. They were 14 for 40. The Celtics beat the Heat on the 3 points. But the Heat really emphasized getting inside. Jimmy Butler attacking the basket, Bam Adebayo attacking the basket, and even Tyler Hero with that 1-2 punch of being a sniper, but being able to take it off the dribble and get to the rim. That's big for the Heat. And now on to the Lakers, the game last night. Lakers and Nuggets. Lakers go up 3-1. Even after the Nuggets had that awesome game, the Lakers really emphasized getting on the boards. After in that game 3, they were terrible. They were awful on the boards. They only had like 25 rebounds or something like that. This game, the Lakers won the rebounding battle 51-39. Dwight Howard came out. He got the start. His first time starting in the conference finals. I believe they said 2015. So seeing Dwight Howard just brought a lot of energy because Anthony Davis really wasn't on the boards. He ended up with 5 rebounds, but he only had like 1 rebound when going into that fourth quarter. So again, some more late rebounds for Anthony Davis. We gotta see him attack and be a defensive big on the inside. Just a bigger presence on defense and on the boards. When you're going against Nikola Jokic, that's how you're gonna stop him. We saw Dwight Howard, banging with Jokic and on the inside and attacking him, and he really didn't have. Jokic did not have a great first half. He only ended with 16 points, and he got a lot of those in that second half and in that fourth quarter where we didn't really see a whole lot of Dwight Howard in that second half. But he got the start. He brought a lot of energy. The Lakers just seemed fired up, and they were moving the ball, and Dwight Howard was just out there making plays. Classic Dwight Howard on that defensive end, grabbing some boards. He ended up with 11 rebounds, and he had 12 points. He had some putback dunks and some offensive rebounds. And that was another thing that killed the Nuggets. They gave up 12 offensive rebounds to the Lakers. And that's just not something you can do. The Lakers, who are just good around the rim, good at finishing in the rim with Rondo and LeBron and Anthony Davis and those guys, a lot of second chance points is not what you can give up. And the Lakers really excelled on the fast break. I'm big on fast break points. I think it's a game changer. You got to capitalize off of the other team's turnovers. The turnover battle was tied, but the Lakers had 17 fast break points and the Nuggets only had 9. And the Lakers did a really great job of getting to the free throw line, 28 of 35, and because the Nuggets only got there 23 times. I thought the refs missed a couple of those calls late there in that fourth quarter for Jamal Murray. Probably should have got a couple more fouls on maybe LeBron. Jamal Murray didn't really get his calls. And another big thing for the Nuggets was they just missed a lot of open threes. A lot of open shots were missed. Michael Porter Jr. and Jeremy Grant had some open threes, and just nothing. So that's another big thing for the Nuggets. Got to knock down those open threes. Just some of those shots weren't there tonight for the Nuggets. They were 10 for 28 from three, which isn't too bad, 35%. But I thought they made some contested ones and they missed a lot of open ones, which really would have helped them out in that fourth quarter when they were trying to come back there. Because Anthony Davis was big on the offensive night. He was a lot more aggressive on offense, had 34 points. LeBron brought a lot of energy there in that fourth quarter with no Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis kind of playing that center position. He had 26 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. Rondo brought a lot of energy. He ended up with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. He was really balling out there in that fourth quarter as well. So LeBron and Rondo with no Dwight Howard out there, even when the Nuggets were trying to come back, because we saw Dwight Howard go to the bench and Nuggets kind of picked it up a little bit, and we saw LeBron and Rondo kind of the two vets, those guys who have won championships, just go out there and bring some energy in that fourth quarter. As a Thunder fan, it's cool to see Jeremy Grant out there guarding just the big time offensive players this whole playoffs for the Nuggets. Guarding Kawhi and Paul George and guarding LeBron and Anthony Davis, all those guys. Jeremy Grant, we've seen him for the Thunder. He was more of a shot blocker, but he was great on defense using his length and his lateral quickness. And he's really had he's had some good offensive games in the playoffs. But we have seen him have some really bad offensive games as well in the playoffs. This game he had 17 points, but like I said, he missed a lot of open threes. He was 2 for 6 from three. Even though that doesn't sound too bad, if when you're watching the game, it looked a lot worse than it was. Monte Morris came off the bench. He had 12 points. He brought some energy too. Monte Morris and Jeremy Grant both had great games. The last outing there where the Nuggets won. Michael Porter Jr., he was 3 for 6, but again he had I think he missed 2 wide open threes in one possession. I saw he was 3 for 6 from three. Again, not too bad, but when you're watching the game, it's like, ooh, you got to make those, especially when you're playing against the Lakers and LeBron's on that other side. He's going to take advantage of that, and that's where those fast break points come in and make a really big impact. So again, Lakers up 3-1, and we've seen the Nuggets come back from 3-1 twice in this playoff. So don't count them out yet. But now you got LeBron on the other side this time, and you got a team that's really playing well together. But I thought the Nuggets really didn't have their best game. I thought Mike Malone said it really well when they interviewed him in between the third and the fourth quarter. Going into that fourth quarter, they were only down by 3, and they really hadn't played their best basketball at all. Once again, Jokic finished with 16 points, and he only had four assists and 7 rebounds, and so again, and the turnover battle and the missed open threes and all those things. I thought Mike Malone, again, he said they did not lose by a lot, and I thought they were far from their best basketball, especially that we've seen them play in this playoffs. So I think the Nuggets have a chance, but 3-1 might be too much in this series. But I'm sure we said that in every series, especially going up against the Clippers. But now you got LeBron and you got Anthony Davis, and those guys on the other side this time. So what are the Nuggets going to do now to fight back? Can they take it to 7? I got Lakers in 6 for now, but hey, I could totally see the Nuggets taking it to 7 and possibly, and I don't know if they can win, but I can definitely see them taking it to 7 because they did not play their best basketball that game, and they only lost 114 to 108. I think there's a lot more we can see out of the Nuggets next game. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Wherever you're listening, hit that like, hit that share button, hit that follow button. Wherever you're listening, whatever the button there is to hit, whatever the good button is, hit that one. Thank you so much for listening. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at ChaseThunder4, at _Chasedown. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.